Hi there, my name's Liz Mitten. Some of you will know me as a playwright or a coach and trainer or even as a mental health worker, and truth is I'm all these things. But right now I'm actually at home in my garden. I don't know if you can hear it, but the birds are chirping. It's an absolutely glorious day. And I'm just outside having a little bit of exercise. I'll just turn around. You can see a beautiful green in the back. That is not actually my garden, that's my neighbour's garden. Yeah, I'm just outside and I've just been thinking about, just while I'm sat here and walking around the garden, how easy it is to forget, what an unusual time we're actually in with this COVID-19 situation. And I'm just really aware that given my previous work with women who were in different levels of mental crisis, how difficult this time is, how challenging it is for different people in lots of different ways. Now, for some people like me, I found it very challenging being told that I can't leave the house, and the fact is I am still leaving the house because I'm going to work. Just sit down for a second. I'm still working a few days a week, but for some people who are in lockdown, it's even more challenging, either because the lockdown with people who they feel don't support them in the way they feel they need, or because they're on lockdown alone and they feel very isolated. And I think it's particularly difficult for people when leaving the house has been difficult in the past and they've worked towards being able to leave the house and socialise, and then suddenly, because of what's happened, they're being told that they have to stay at home. So yeah, my mind's just been on certain people this past couple of weeks, knowing how hard this time's going to hit them. So I just thought, what can I do? And I just wanted to give some encouragement, really, and just wanted to remind people of some routine things that they can do to kind of stay well while we're in this situation. We don't know how long it's going to last. And I think part of navigating challenging mental health problems is learning to accept certain things, learning to accept uncertainty. I know for me in the past, when I've really struggled, accepting uncertainty has been one of my biggest battles. But yeah, just as a starting point, accepting that there are only certain things that we can change can be a really important starting point. But I was just thinking about self-care. We use that term all the time, but I think, yeah, just reminding yourself of what works for you, because what works for one doesn't always work for another. So for example, taking a long bath doesn't work for everyone. That doesn't work for me, but it really does work for some people. And I would encourage you, if you have a self-care box, or even like an emergency kind of a mental health first aid box, it would be worth getting that out now. And by that I mean, having a box of different things that you can turn to in difficult times. Now, in that box you might have a book that always cheers you up. You might have a quote that encourages you. You might have some essential oils or a candle that you like the fragrance of. It can be any of those things. It might be a fidget spinner, it might be something, a photograph, but it's having that kind of box of things that you can turn to that gives you that almost instant relief when you're feeling quite distressed. I think the other thing is finding ways to get your thoughts out. So for some people, journaling really works. Writing things down, writing notes, reminding yourself of your goals, but also reminding yourself of your progress, where you've come from and where you are now. And just in terms of that now, mindfulness works for some people, and that's just focusing on the now, being present, looking at what's around you. For me right now, it could be looking at the lovely leaves opposite me and how they move in the breeze, and just focusing on that. It could be counting things that are around me, counting how many pink flowers there are, and there are not many, but just noticing things that are around me. And sometimes that can help to ground you in a really difficult time. And I think where possible, reaching out to others. Now, for some people, doing Facebook and Instagram can be really useful. It can be a real lifeline for some people. For others, it can be quite anxiety inducing, depending what people share. So, pick your area. It might be that you look to a forum, you know, something that's on like Mind at the moment has got some really good resources. Rethink Mental Illness has got some really good resources, as do OCD UK. So, you know, pick a forum where you can go to, somewhere where people understand where you're at, understand what your issues are, and where you can get some encouragement from other people's stories. And I would say as well, you know, resist watching the news. This is one of my difficulties. I watch the news way too often, and sometimes I really have to force myself to reduce the amount of news that I'm watching, because generally all it does is make my heart beat faster, make me worry, make me think about things, make me dream. So I'm dreaming the wrong way. So I've kind of limited myself to look at the headlines on my phone in the morning, and I'll watch the news once in the evening. So that's just my way of reducing some of my stress. So I'm going to end there. If anybody wants any tips or advice or support, please get in touch with me. You can write something under the video, or you can send me a private message on Facebook or Instagram, and I will endeavour to get back to you as soon as possible. But just stay well, stay open, keep talking. Talking is one of those really underrated activities, but just saying things out loud, and you know, the risk of sounding not right, talking to yourself can really help as well. So just saying things out loud to yourself, admitting out loud that you don't feel 100%, can actually go somewhere to reducing some feelings of anxiety. So stay well and take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye bye.